photography and its visual languages and traditions and the technology of photography, but they are also manipulating these conventions of photography. In some of my work, I've referred to it as a process of, if you like, the best way to, I don't know if there's a Portuguese equivalent, is a way of pidginizing and creolizing conventions of representation. So it's not from you, but when you use it, you want to use it deliberately. You want to use it by inscribing your own desires into the medium that's not necessarily yours. As you know, if you use it from language or linguistics, where the idea of a pidgin language and a Creole language, one changes the conventions of a formal language, and the other produces a brand new language from several sources. This is what has happened with artistic practices and cultural practices in most of Africa, especially practices that had colonial and European origins, languages, literature, and so on, filmmaking. What we've done is to try to be familiar with these media, tame them, and be able to manipulate them to satisfy our desire to be subjects of history and culture. And so that process is, for me, a political process where these people are deconstructing what will ordinarily be marginalizing images of their society. And so it is that political process that I find exciting and that I celebrate in the selections of images that you see. But beyond the manipulation of the great work by these African photographers who live in Africa and outside Africa, is also the importance that their work has done and provided for non-Africans who are taking contemporary photographs of Africa, who are more sensitive to the politics of representation. They are more sensitive to the history of colonial representation, and they are responding, like their African peers and counterparts, they are responding to producing something new and showing the complexity of the African continent as it is. So, my curatorial goal is to set up a bunch of images that will stimulate dialogue, that will also stimulate curiosity, and that what you're seeing are just the tip of the iceberg from even each of the photographers, because they have vast bodies of work, and you can look them up and you can consult their work. But beyond that, there are others whose works cannot be here for all kinds of reasons. But this is just a way of opening up that conversation of a continent that's in a process of remaking itself constantly, even without knowing that, even without the guarantees of knowing where it is moving and so on. Like the vehicle that I described in the opening sentence, that Miami Wagon is because of the uncertain corners that they take into the roads that they're not even sure is safe. That's the kind of society that we see in most of Africa, where majority of Africans refuse the history that objectifies them, and they continuously struggle and fight and express their desires to be democratic subjects in whatever spaces they live. And these photographs kind of capture some moments in the lives of these people who are trying to transform their society and become part of global history. Thank you.